Browns training camp day 10, and man, some weird stuff happened today. It was Shedeur Sanders' day with the first team, except, psych, no, it was Deshaun Watson who took all the first team reps again today. Now, two thoughts on this before we get crazy. One, today would have been Shedeur's third padded practice this week compared to just one so far for Deshaun Watson. So maybe they decided to even out the week and make it two padded practices for Shedeur and two for Watson. Number two, the plan was likely always to start Watson on the road against Chicago and then start Shedeur at home during the preseason. Come on, the Browns know what that home crowd is going to look like if they run Watson out there with the starters in Cleveland. And honestly, I kind of think both things could be true here, so I'm just preparing you now, barring something crazy. Deshaun Watson will likely be taking the bulk of first team reps next week in preparation to start against the Bears on Saturday. Now, the one weird thing though today, and I won't read too much into it until Monday, but Dillon Gabriel apparently ran a lot of the second team drills today. So instead of Shedeur being the second team quarterback, he split all those reps with Dillon Gabriel. Could be nothing, could be the Browns doing Browns things. But moving on, Casey Concepcion with another highlight catch today. Camp reports are just raving about the Browns' first-round rookie receiver. Another red zone touchdown for Denzel Boston today. Jerry Jeudy had two nice days, back-to-back Thursday and Friday, but dropped more passes again here today. Right tackle Titus Howard left practice. Perhaps it was related to the overwhelming heat out there today. And rookie Austin Barber was the next man up to run at right tackle. And yes, the heat was dreadful today, guys. Tempers flared at one point. A brawl broke out between Spencer Fano, Jared Verse, but both players, all cool, lined up again on the very next play. Elgton Jenkins and Tevin Jenkins, both back today and both running with the first team O-line. KT Leviston had been running with the ones, but Tevin got those reps today. The first team O-line to end the week. Spencer Fano, Zion Johnson, Elgton Jenkins, Tevin Jenkins, and Titus Howard / Austin Barber. On defense, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren got some reps with the starters today. The rookie is coming on strong. Everybody says he's looking really good. You got to remember he missed all of OTAs with a minor injury, so this is really his first action getting into the swing of things with this defense and the secondary. Now for your injury updates, Logan Fano left with a trainer. Linebacker Justin Jefferson, a new absence today. And the rest of the list, well, it was the same as yesterday and most of the days this week. You can see the names here down below. So let me know what you guys think as the second week of Browns training camp wraps up. Next week will be week 3. They prepare for their first preseason game on the road in Chicago on Saturday. And based on everything that happened today, I think we can expect Todd Monken to name Deshaun Watson the preseason week 1 starter, and that's probably coming on Monday.
We came into the camp and we came into practice. Today was Shedeur Sanders' scheduled day technically to be with the ones. We got word from a little birdie that it was switched up today. Deshaun Watson took the first team reps in the bulk of them, and must we add, he capitalized off of them. He looked real good. He capitalized off those reps. He was crisp. He was efficient. Not very many footballs hit the ground. Not to say that Shedeur was not good today.
Honestly, Shedeur, I thought he responded in a really good way, because the thing is, somebody tell you right before practice, hey, by the way, you're not running with the ones today. On the day you're supposed to be with the ones, you're running with the twos. Right. Like mentally, you'd be like...
Nobody saw this coming. Not the Cleveland media, not NFL analysts, and definitely not the people who spent the last year writing off Shedeur Sanders. Because today, right before practice, Todd Monken did something nobody expected. He flipped the script. Literally. Shedeur Sanders was scheduled to run with the ones today. That was the plan. That was supposed to be his day. Then, minutes before practice, everything changed. Deshaun Watson got the call instead. But what happened next exposed a test so brutal, it might just define the entire Cleveland Browns quarterback battle. Because this wasn't just about reps. This was about pressure.
It will be as it had been. It was Shedeur's scheduled day to go with the ones. Right before practice, he put a little switch on it. I think it was to really see how Shedeur Sanders would kind of respond to that little bit of adversity. And he was pissed off. And the fact that he was pissed off, I thought he went out there, he was locked in when he got his reps. When he got his reps, he threw 3 or 4 darts in a row. Yeah, he did. One of them to Cedric Tillman. Overall, I thought Deshaun Watson had a really, really strong practice. I thought everything, like as far far as procedure and, cadence and getting everybody where they need to be pre-snap, he was really, really effective at. I thought when he threw the ball had nice zip on it. He was on time more often than not and made some great plays. Jerry Jeudy got to clean those up. He had about 3 or 4 drops.
Man.
Let's set the scene. Day 10 of training camp. The Browns are grinding. Bodies are tired. Tempers are short. And the quarterback room is under a microscope that never blinks. Shedeur Sanders had one job today. Show up, run with the starters, prove he belongs. Instead, somebody pulled the rug out from under him minutes before he stepped on the field. Imagine that. You prepare all week, you mentally lock in for your moment, and then right before it happens, they take it away. That's not just adversity, that's a gut check. And how a young quarterback responds to a gut check tells you everything about who he really is. Here's where it gets real. Insiders inside the building say Sanders was pissed. Not sulking, not shutting down. Pissed in the way competitors get pissed. And what did he do with it? He went out there when his reps finally came, and he started slinging darts. 3, 4, back-to-back, tight windows, on time, on the money. One of them landed right in the hands of Cedric Tillman like it was scripted. That's not panic. That's a young man channeling frustration into precision. But here's where things get crazy. Deshaun Watson also had one of his best practices of camp. Crisp, efficient, sharp pre-snap. The kind of performance that makes a head coach smile. So now you've got 2 quarterbacks, one who got thrown a curveball and rose to the occasion, and one who simply looked like the polished veteran he's supposed to be. Both men delivered, and that's exactly what makes this so dangerous for Cleveland's coaching staff. And don't overlook the guys around them either, because this camp isn't just about 2 quarterbacks. It's about an entire roster fighting for jobs and respect. Receivers like Cedric Tillman making contested catches, a rookie corner named Foe standing his ground in a scrap and not backing down, young linemen like Spencer Fondo talking trash to a former Defensive Rookie of the Year in Jared Verse, and then backing it up on the very next play. That's the environment Shedeur Sanders is fighting to lead, a room full of hungry players who don't care about draft position. They care about who shows up when it matters. Now pay attention to this, because here's where the media's easy narrative completely falls apart. For months, the story on Shedeur Sanders has been simple. Too slow in the huddle, too much hesitation, not disciplined enough with the offense. Fair criticism? Maybe. But here's the part people conveniently leave out. It's not just him. Receivers lining up in the wrong spot, timing issues that aren't all on the quarterback, a rookie learning an entirely new system under an entirely new coaching staff. Yet somehow, every mistake gets pinned on one name, Shedeur. Meanwhile, Deshaun Watson, a veteran who hasn't played a real NFL game since October of 2024, gets praised as getting back to form after a strong practice. Same building, same grass, same coaching staff, but a completely different standard. That's not analysis. That's a double standard so obvious, even longtime Browns insiders can't ignore it anymore.
Together when the full speed comes when you're in the games. And this is going to probably dictate who will play.
Them games in that joint practice, I've been telling y'all for weeks that them games in them joint practices is going to be everything. The game, like, the thing is this, like, practice is practice, but, you know, we've been knowing Shedeur for a whole year, and, you know, you heard about him last year. It's a lot of mixed emotions about him, and then we saw him in the game against Carolina, and boom, he lit it up. You know what I'm saying? So it shows that guy's more of a gamer. So to me, with Deshaun Watson, he put it together in practice for these last couple of days. This looked really good. If he can continue that for the preseason, and it looks like that, all right, then it is what it is. But we also haven't seen him in a live game in a couple of years. Can he continue to take what he did today in practice and put that on the field?
Let's talk about pressure. Real pressure. Deshaun Watson enters this camp with a fully guaranteed contract north of $200 million. 2 years removed from meaningful football, coming off a devastating Achilles injury that ended his 2025 season before it even started. Shedeur Sanders enters this camp as a 5th-round pick. drafted at 144 overall after tumbling through the draft in front of the entire football world. One quarterback was handed the keys to a franchise. The other had to fight, scratch, and claw just to get on the field. And when he finally got that chance last season, he started the final 7 games of the year for Cleveland. 120 completions, 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns. Not perfect. Nobody's saying perfect, but for a rookie thrown into chaos on a team that burned through 3 different starting quarterbacks in a single season, that's not a bust. That's a survivor. Here's something almost nobody is talking about. Remember the Carolina game last season? Shedeur Sanders lit it up. He didn't just play well, he looked like a completely different quarterback than the one everybody buried in draft season. That performance did something important. It planted a seed of doubt in the narrative that Shedeur Sanders can't handle real NFL moments, because the numbers tell a completely different story than the noise on social media. And that seed of doubt, it's still growing. Let's get into the football, because the football doesn't lie. There's also a defensive side to this story people forget. Grant Delpit has now dropped 2 interceptions in camp that should have been picked off clean. One of those came directly off a Shedeur Sanders throw that on paper looks like a mistake in the box score, but insiders around the building will tell you something different. Sometimes a bad stat isn't a bad decision. Sometimes it's a defender making a business decision not to make full contact in a padless practice. Context matters, and in this quarterback battle, context is everything. Todd Monken wants speed, he wants tempo, he wants an offense that forces the defense to declare before the snap, the same philosophy that's turned quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson into nightmares for opposing coordinators. That means precision matters, command matters, cadence matters. Right now, insiders say the staff is literally charting how many plays each quarterback gets off in split field reps. This isn't just a competition, this is a science experiment with 2 very different test subjects. Deshaun Watson cleaning up his footwork and rebuilding rhythm after 2 years away from live football. Shedeur Sanders sharpening the mental checklist. Get in, get out, get the ball out faster. Both quarterbacks have homework, but only one of them will get the answer key by week 1.
I say if I'm splitting the rest up, I get 55-45, probably right there, until I'm 100% guaranteed knowing who my guy is. Then you give them both a game. I know Todd talked about it earlier that, hey, until we name a starter, our goal is to give them both a game and go from there. So if that's the case, whoever's going to start that game that Friday or Saturday, whatever day it is, give them 55% of the starting reps, give the 45 to the other ones.
Yeah, I'm with that too. I think right now, if I had to put money on it, I think Deshaun Watson will probably be a starting quarterback that first preseason game against the Chicago Bears. I would even anticipate him playing the whole first half. And I think Shedeur Sanders should play the whole second half.
Yep.
You know, the Browns are not like any other NFL team. Our situation is unique, and we got to keep our eyes on our own paper. We need to see our quarterbacks with real game reps.
Now here's where the plan officially changed. According to reporting inside the building, Monken's blueprint is coming into focus. One quarterback starts the first preseason game against Chicago, the other starts the second against Buffalo, and whoever earns it, whoever truly separates himself, gets the start in that Thursday night dress rehearsal against New England. That game, that's the one that decides everything. Insiders even believe Watson could get the nod first, playing into that opening half against the Bears, before Sanders gets his shot in the second half to answer back. Which means this isn't just a quarterback competition anymore. It's a live, nationally watched audition with cameras, sponsorships, jet flyovers, and 65,000 fans in the stands. No more practice bubble, no more scripted reps against your own teammates, just real bullets, real opponents, and real consequences. And that's when we'll finally know the truth. Because practice tells you who looks good in shorts and helmets. Games tell you who you can trust with the franchise. Shedeur Sanders has already shown flashes of that it factor under the lights. Deshaun Watson has already shown he can still sling it when healthy and locked in. but only one of them could be QB1, and Todd Monken has made it clear he's not waiting around forever. I want one of these guys to make it clear to me, make it clear who is the guy with their play, Monken said. No excuses left, no more curveballs to hide behind, just 3 preseason games standing between 2 quarterbacks in the job of a lifetime. Think about the layers here. Deshaun Watson is fighting to prove a $230 million investment wasn't a mistake. Shedeur Sanders is fighting to prove a 5th-round pick can become a franchise cornerstone. 2 completely different stories, 2 completely different pressures, 1 single job on the line. And if reports are accurate, Watson could get the first crack against Chicago with a chance to play the entire first half. Then Sanders answers in the second half in front of a national audience, with everything riding on how he responds. That's not a coincidence. That's a coach building a controlled experiment and letting the results speak for themselves. Whether you love Shedeur Sanders or you're still skeptical of him, one thing is becoming impossible to deny. Every single time somebody tries to write him off, he finds a way to give people a reason to believe again. A curveball thrown right before practice was supposed to shake him. Instead, it revealed him. And if that's who Shedeur Sanders really is, a competitor who gets better when the pressure gets heavier, then Cleveland might be sitting on something far more dangerous than a backup quarterback. They might be sitting on a story that's only just getting started. So here's the real question heading into Chicago. When the lights are the brightest and the moment is the biggest, which quarterback is Cleveland actually going to trust? We're about to find out. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss how this story ends.